Hello dear viewer, I have come back from my wonderful trip to Poland, and just to sum it up shortly, it was quite enjoyable. But I don't want to bore you with further life stories, so let's get to the topic of this video. Greymoor is an upcoming area of Hollow Knight Silksong. According to Team Cherry, it is going to be one of their biggest areas yet. Hornet will meet friends, go on quests, and will uncover many mysteries. The website of Team Cherry also further describes, as Hornet ascends from the foundations of Farloom towards the citadel at its crest, she may pass through the wasted caverns of Greymoor. The misted fields and dilapidated towers are now infested with crawbugs, devious nesting types, and the former tenders of the land have become haunted. In the pens at this land's height, keepers wrangle swarms of dust roaches, rapid breeding pests with insatiable appetites. So far we only have a few screenshots of the lands belonging to Greymoor. The area itself is home to misty lands, the backgrounds are grey and distant. In a few screenshots we can see what seem to be graves, or at least some stones of sorts. The symbol of Farloom, a bell or a ball of string, as I described previously, is also seen quite often. Sometimes the symbol can be seen on these mentioned stones. Perhaps they represent the graves of former Farloom citizens? If we believe that the bell plays an important cultural or religious role for Farloom, then perhaps it acts as like a Christian cross on our gravestones. If you're Christian, of course, there are other examples as well. On the stone road which goes through Greymoor, we can also spy a few singular bells lying on the ground. This is similar to other areas of Farloom. The only light source in the caverns of Greymoor are lumaflies in glass containers, standing on the roadside. One thing I also wanted to discuss is the word Team Cherry used for some of the enemies roaming Greymoor. The word tenders is interesting. For me, this is possibly linked to gardeners or tenders of gardens in a sense. Perhaps Greymoor used to be a garden, maybe for the king or queen. Tenders of land could also just refer to the citizens of the area in general. But if we go with the garden explanation, then it could also explain why some enemies carry scissors, as you would need gardening tools for cutting bushes or plants. Let's get to the enemy types. Crawbugs were mentioned. Perhaps these are bugs crawling the lands of Greymoor wrapped in grey cloth. Another enemy name we have are dust roaches, though I have no idea what they are supposed to be. Perhaps dusty enemies, or maybe they combust to dust once defeated. There are also bird-like enemies roaming Greymoorian lands. They appear to be wrapped in grey cloth and their faces can't be seen. Only small beaks or perhaps frontal parts of their masks are seen. These enemies, or at least some of their type, are also able to fly, and they carry the traditional weapons of Farloom, such as the pin. Some of these birds are seen resting on poles, perhaps when Hornet is entering the area. Other enemies include the aforementioned bugs carrying grey cloths around their body. It is possible to see their white eyes. Some of the enemies are carrying giant scissors, others carry weird sticks with glowy red things on top. These are what I would call the former gardeners, if my theory might be true. So now, where does Greymoor lie and what areas are included? Going from a small clip in the reveal trailer on the category New Friends, precisely where Hornet seems to meet Chakra, we can see her leaving a Greymoor type area and going into some form of illuminated city. This could perhaps spoil that Greymoor will lie next to one of Farloom's gilded cities. Other areas lying close to Greymoor, or in Greymoor itself, could be the area where we meet a character which I have coined Elder Shell. This is of course not canon, only a fan name. The area here is misty and dark as well, so perhaps this is a sort of sub-area? Or it could be an area of its own, who knows? Team Cherry's description of Greymoor also included dilapidated towers. Now, from Kickstarter backer info for Silksong, we already know that there is going to be a warlord tower, but I believe these towers in Greymoor to be different. Maybe they are like lighthouses, needing to be activated. Of the few screenshots we have, some might come from these Greymoorian towers. They show weird mechanisms active in the background, and there are also some silk storages visible. Perhaps these towers are also silk producing industries of their own? After giving you this quick info, what are your opinions on Greymoor? Honestly, I do love the idea of a giant misty area, as long as there is enough variety in it. Ascending towers, perhaps with bosses atop, is a cool gameplay idea as well. It can be speculated what greater story purpose Greymoor serves. If it is indeed a former king's garden, then there could be some info surrounding Farloom's royal family, or the history of Farloom itself. The area is definitely not as uncivilized as the Moss Grotto was. From a standpoint of civilization, it is definitely not at the top either. There is some architecture here and there, but nothing revolutionary it seems. So, write your ideas in the comments below, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Speak soon.